Let's go, Falcons! Today we're diving into the latest news about our team. There's a player generating a lot of buzz, and we're here to discuss whether he'd be a good fit for the roster. Stick around, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. It's the best way to stay updated on all things Falcons. Now, let's talk about the trade rumors surrounding the Atlanta Falcons. NFL insider Maurice Moton from Bleacher Report has suggested that the Falcons could target Philadelphia Eagles edge rusher Bryce Huff this offseason. The proposed trade? 2 day 3 draft picks in 2025 in exchange for the 26-year-old pass rusher. Moton's reasoning makes sense. The Eagles invested heavily in Huff, signing him to a 3-year, $51.1 million contract with $34 million guaranteed. However, Huff's performance hasn't lived up to the price tag. Injuries have plagued him, causing him to miss 11 games in 2024. When he did play, his stats were underwhelming: 13 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 8 pressures in 6 games. That's a far cry from his stellar 2023 season, where he recorded 10 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and 21 quarterback hits. The Falcons have a history of being aggressive in addressing their pass rush issues through trades. Just last offseason, they acquired Matthew Judon. Unfortunately, that move didn't yield the results fans were hoping for. Judon ended the season with just 5.5 sacks and 7 tackles for loss in 17 games. While he was expected to provide veteran leadership as the younger defensive lineman developed, the results left much to be desired. Atlanta finished 31st in the league in sacks for 2024. This raises the question, should the Falcons take another chance on a struggling edge rusher? There's no denying Huff's potential. His 2023 stats show he's capable of being a game changer. However, injuries and inconsistent production make him a risky addition. The Falcons must weigh the potential reward against the risk of another underwhelming performance. Bryce Huff's production has been inconsistent, never surpassing 3.5 sacks in any season outside of his breakout 2023 campaign. On top of that, his hefty contract could pose a challenge for general manager Terry Fontenot, especially with limited cap space heading into 2025. That said, the Falcons' defensive struggles are no secret. Improving the pass rush is essential to complement the growing offensive talent built around Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Michael Penix Jr. If the coaching staff believes Huff can rediscover his 2023 form, acquiring him for minimal draft capital could be a low-risk, high-reward move. The Eagles' willingness to part ways with Huff is becoming more evident, especially after he saw limited snaps in their NFC wildcard game against the Packers. For the Falcons, who are eager to turn the page and end their 7-year playoff drought, adding another piece to the defensive front may be necessary. But what do you think, Falcons fans? Is Bryce Huff worth the trade, or should Atlanta explore other options to improve the pass rush? The 2024 season didn't end the way we hoped, leaving the Falcons facing a pivotal offseason with many familiar questions. While the quarterback situation appears to be stabilizing with Michael Penix Jr. taking the reins, the defense, especially the pass rush, remains a serious concern. Atlanta finished the season 31st in sacks, with just 31 total. That's simply not good enough to compete in the NFC South. Pro Football Focus, PFF, recently highlighted that finding pass rush help should be the Falcons' top priority, and it's hard to argue when the numbers speak for themselves. Atlanta ranked in the bottom 3 for pass rush rate, pressure rate, and pass rush win rate. Alarmingly, this marks a step back from their performance in the 2023 season. Addressing these issues will be critical if the Falcons hope to turn things around. When the Falcons were still struggling but ranked slightly higher in pass rushing metrics, Caden Ellis emerged as the team's highest-rated pass rusher. Yes, a linebacker, not a defensive lineman. While there is some hope with third-round pick Brauntre set to return after missing his rookie season due to injury, relying on a single draft pick to fix the pass rush won't be enough. The Falcons hold the 15th overall pick in the 2025 draft, and Pro Football Focus, PFF suggests using it to select the best pass rusher available. However, the team also faces challenges with cap space, particularly with the uncertain future of quarterback Kirk Cousins. Speaking of Cousins, let's address the quarterback situation. After signing a massive 4-year, $180 million contract, Cousins was expected to be the stabilizing force the franchise needed. Early in the season, he delivered. The Falcons started 6-3, leading the NFC South and looking like playoff contenders. But then things got complicated. Cousins hit a rough patch, leading to a 1-4 slide that forced the team to make a bold move. With 3 games left in the season, rookie Michael Penix Jr. was thrust into the starting role, despite the original plan to have him sit and learn for a year or two behind Cousins. Penix showed promise, finishing 1-2 as a starter, including a home win against the Giants and 2 close overtime losses. His performance was enough for coach Raheem Morris to publicly express confidence in Penix as the future leader of the Falcons offense. So, what does this mean for Cousins? He's still under contract, and the team has no plans to release him. However, with a no-trade clause, moving him won't be easy either. If Cousins stays, he'll become the highest-paid backup in the league, accounting for 14.4% of the Falcons' 2025 salary cap. It's a tough situation financially, and one the Falcons must navigate carefully. The front office insists it's ready to keep Kirk Cousins as insurance behind Michael Penix Jr., even if it's not the most ideal scenario. Bottom line, Falcons fans, this offseason is all about finding balance. The defense needs a significant overhaul, especially in the pass rush department, and the quarterback situation demands clarity regarding Cousins' future. The pieces are there, but the front office has work to do to get this team back into playoff contention. Now, it's your turn, Falcons fans. Do you think targeting a pass rusher in the first round is the right decision? Should the team keep Cousins or do whatever it takes to move him? The Atlanta Falcons find themselves in a tricky spot with quarterback Kirk Cousins. Just a few months ago, Cousins was leading the offense. But after a rough stretch where he threw just 1 touchdown against 9 interceptions, the team had no choice but to bench him after Week 15. Rookie Michael Penix Jr., last April's first-round pick, stepped in and showed enough promise in his final 3 starts to solidify himself as the starting quarterback moving forward. But the big question remains, what happens next with Cousins? The Falcons have 3 options, and none of them are simple. They can trade him, cut him, or keep him as a backup. Falcons GM Terry Fontenot openly acknowledged the complexity of the situation, saying, "There are a lot of layers to this, and we'll deal with them as they come." Let's break down those layers. Trading Cousins seems like the most favorable outcome for Atlanta, but there's a major hurdle: his no-trade clause. Cousins has complete control over where he goes, and realistically, why would he agree to a trade that diminishes the assets of his future team? If he refuses, the Falcons are left with 2 options: cut him or keep him. Releasing Cousins might sound straightforward, but it's financially painful. If he's cut, Atlanta would still owe $27.5 million or $37.5 million, depending on whether he's still on the roster after March 17th, when his $10 million signing bonus kicks in. In this scenario, Cousins could follow Russell Wilson's example by signing a new deal for the veteran minimum while still receiving a hefty payday from Atlanta. That brings us to the third option: keeping Cousins on the roster as a backup. Fontenot has emphasized the team's comfort with this possibility, saying, "Kirk's a great guy. He's been a great support for Mike, a great teammate, and a great presence in the building. However, paying such a large sum for a backup quarterback is a tough pill to swallow for a team trying to build a competitive roster." Cousins' 2024 stats were underwhelming overall: a 66.9% completion rate, 3,858 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. His late-season collapse made it clear why the Falcons turned to Penix. What remains unclear is how Cousins feels about his future in Atlanta. Since being benched, he's stayed tight-lipped about his next move, leaving the Falcons front office to speak on his behalf. So, Falcons fans, what do you think is the best move for the team? Should Atlanta keep Cousins as an expensive insurance policy, or is it time to move on entirely? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest news. Go Falcons!